Hello friends, today we are going to deal with mount system call. In Unix, files and processes are very fundamental concepts, and we have to remember that the files are having places and processes are having life. So whenever we are dealing with the file, places are very important. Now the point is that who is going to provide this place, where the place will be provided, and how this file place will be organized. All these things will be controlled by something called file system, and in order to access any file we need to mount that file system into our kernel. Okay, so file system plays very important role here. Okay, now if we observe the Unix file system layout, it can be divided into various blocks. Like we have a boot block. This boot block maintains all the information associated with booting process. The super block is there. This super block is maintaining the information of the file system, means what is the size of the file system, how many free blocks are there, how many inodes are there, how many free inodes are there, where the free blocks and free inodes are there, list of that, everything associated with the file system. The file system information is there in the super block. Next to that we have inode block, which contains inodes, and lastly the actual data of the file is there with data blocks. Okay, now in Unix we have hierarchical file system, which starts with root. There is a root. Everything we need to access, any file we need to access, is having a path name, and absolute path name starts with root. Okay, in this file system we have non-leaf nodes that can be referred as a directories, and the leaf nodes can be regular files or special files like device files. In order to understand this more, we can have various commands. This is similar to Unix. We have a Linux file system as well. If we want to understand more about this, we can use this command. So let me use this command called cat slash etc slash fs tab. Now what this command does, it reads this fs tab file in this etc folder. This etc folder is maintaining all the configuration related files, and what the file systems available with this system right now, I can see this with the help of this command. And see, this command gives me information about various file systems right now mounted in this system. So it gives me file system, the mount point. What is mount point? Actually where the file system is mounted. Okay, we'll see this later. Type of the file system and various options associated with it, dump and pass. We are not worried about the further things. Our concern is file system, mount point and its type. So here I can say that I have a root file system which is mounted on this slash dev slash sdb10. This is nothing but the mount point where the file system is mounted, and type of the file system is ext4. In Windows, as we have FAT32, FAT16 and NTFS, in Linux or Unix like systems we have ext2, ext3, ext4 and swap. Okay, so these are the file systems right now available with me. So I can access these many file systems right now. Okay, now what if I have a removable drive with me which also has a file system. Now you can imagine that the previously seen the file system, this is nothing but the local file system of my system, and this is nothing but the removable drive I have, which also contains a file system, which is again starting with the root. And suppose I want to access one of the folder or one of the file from this removable drive. Now I cannot access this unless and until I attach my drive to the system. Okay, then only I can access the files available in the pen drive. Okay, so why this is? Because I I can access everything through this route only, and there is only one route allowed here. So root of this file system uh, must be attached somewhere in order to access it. Okay, now physically we can attach that pen drive or any external drive to available hardware ports like USB port we have. So uh, let me attach my pen drive and let us check it out what happens with the system. Now when I insert my pen drive, nowadays we have plug and play devices. So as soon as I plug in the device, the system will detect it and it will mount it for me. Okay, so let me check it out whether it is mounted. Icon here, and now I can see the contents, but this is happening automatically. But how system is doing it is basically with the help of mount command. In order to see the block devices right now available with me, I can use this command called lsblk, and see this command is giving me the available file systems and devices with me now. See, I have SDA, which is my disk, internal disk, and which has a partitions SDA1, SDA2 and SDA10. If you remember, in earlier command we said that SDA10 was there as a FS where the root was mounted, and now you can observe I have another disk here which is SDB. Okay, SDB is another disk which is nothing but my uh, removable pen drive, and you can observe here, see the major number and minor number is there. So major number is specifying the type of the device, and this is nothing but unit of the device. Okay, here need to observe that the mount point is there. Okay, so let us do it manually. System has already done it automatically, so in order to do it manually, let me unmount this drive first. Sudo umount is the command, and which file system I want to unmount is available with me at uh, slash dev slash sdb1. Remember that if you're not knowing which device you have attached on which hardware port, you can check it out various device ports available, and you can check this lsblk so that you can understand whether it is sdb1, sdb2 or whatever it is, as we can have multiple USB ports. Let me unmount it. So it is asking me for password. Yes, it is unmounted. And now if I give this command again, lsblk, see, you can observe that yes, physically it is available, but I can't access it because the mount point is not there. You can see the change. Previously the mount point was slash media slash Deepak somewhere, and here the mount point is not there. So what we understood from this is, in order to attach this logically, we have to use this command called mount command, and then we have to specify a special file name slash dev slash sdb 1 or 2, whatever it is, and then we need to specify the mount point where I want to mount this so that I can access it. And third parameter is optional one, which is I can pass here 0 so that the file system can be accessed only for read only purpose. See, the clearly we can say that the first parameter is nothing but specifying what is supposed to be mounted. Second parameter, we are specifying where it is to be mounted, and this is how mount command is working. So already I have unmounted it. Let me mount it again. So for that, mount is the command, mount slash dev slash sdb1, where I have physically attached my removable pen drive, and uh, the location where I want to attach or mount this is slash media slash Deepak, and okay, it is giving me the message that only root can do this. Remember that mount is a command which ordinary user cannot execute. Same with the unmount. So let me use credentials of super user, and now it is done. Now if I check the lsblk, see, now can say that it is mounted at whatever location I have specified in the command. This is how we can use mount command. Remember that in order to use this mount command, you must be a super user. Then you have to have access to this file, and then you should specify the correct name here. If anything out of these goes wrong, your algorithm or your system call will fail. If you are not use super user, if this file access is not there, or the file you are specifying as a mount point is now not available, in all these cases your algorithm will fail. And okay, so in next lecture uh, we'll see more about this mount system call or mount algorithm. Till then, enjoy. Thank you.